Namaste Savaijana. Have you ever wondered how it feels to learn a totally new and exotic language? Stick with me and you'll hear how and why I learned Nepali. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Culture Heartbeat. Today we are talking about why and how I decided to learn Nepali. Before I move on, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing because it will bring you new light on the topic of internationality. Coming back to this video now, I will tell you the 3 top reasons why I decided to learn Nepali, because this is the question probably I get most asked about. It's very different from the Latin languages, it has its completely different script. So here is my first reason why I decided to do it. So when I met my husband, he comes from Nepal and his family lives there. They're not Nepalese who live abroad, they're really settled there, they speak Nepali. And I was really worried if we continue with our relationship and decide to get married, how will I speak to them? He said, my mom is the only person who doesn't speak Nepali in the family, but don't worry, there will be always somebody to translate. I didn't think it's a problem until the day that we went to Nepal with the idea to get married and I met his parents. For me, it was a no-go to sit there in one room with her and always have to wait for somebody to ask her a question. Just how is she? Is she feeling fine? Does she need something? How is her life? You know, I want to know these questions directly from a person. It would feel really artificial to always wait for somebody to come and translate that for me. That was the moment when I decided, that's it. From now on, I will start learning Nepali bit by bit. It might take forever. I don't want to put a really hard pace on me, but I'll do it. Reason number 2. I didn't feel at all comfortable being in a situation full of Nepalese and not knowing what's really happening around me. So this was the second motivation for me to really focus on Nepali and actively start absorbing what's happening around me, which takes me to the reason number 3. I felt that by learning Nepali, I will actually get closer to the Nepali culture overall, and I will be able to understand the people, their mentality, get more integrated with them. So for me this was really important because I don't just marry my husband. I didn't want him to feel isolated part from this family. I felt if I marry him, I become part of his family and he becomes part of my Bulgarian family. So it was like a two-way thing. I felt really well accepted even at the stage when I didn't understand Nepali. I thought one more step further would make things even better. Now that you know why I set myself on this Nepali learning journey, I'm coming back to the point how I did it. So here is the first thing I did. I bought 2 books. One was like really typical Nepali book, learning the language properly with the script. As you might know or not, the Nepalese use the Sanskrit. And I took a second book, which was much smaller book, and it was focused only on spoken Nepali. So everything in this second book was written with Latin letter, but the Nepali word. I took a chance on the first book because I thought, let me learn Nepali the normal way we do it in Europe. It took me about a week to understand that this is a no-go for me because of the fact that it would make me much slower to learn the new script and then to learn to write a word in this script. It would be a really huge effort to move from one step to the next, and it would take me a lot more to get to my goal, which was to start speaking. I did not have as a goal to write a letter to somebody in Nepali. I wanted to speak first and foremost to my mother-in-law and then to the other people around me, even though they could speak English. What I did, I put this book to the side and I took a chance on the second one. 1 lesson a day, I would learn the new words, I would ask my husband how to pronounce them, and then every day, whatever I learned, I put it into practice. The second thing that helped me to learn Nepali, the second how, was actually starting to get really involved in a conversation. So even if I knew very little, I would try to make association with that word. I would try to immediately implement it as soon as possible. I would try and see if other people also implement it as often as my husband does, for example. All these things were happening on the background, and all these things actually make this networking of Nepali words in my head really, really strong. So because of this, active intention to get part of the conversation. I was asking every time I don't understand something, and people would gladly explain to me because people appreciate interest. I was putting every new word in my Nepali dictionary, and because of these conversations and because of my high absorbing power that I turned on, it helped me really remember every word in what situation I learned. I don't know if you've ever experienced this thing, but this makes the word unforgettable. You cannot forget it anymore because of this strong association. It's very different method from learning a language in a class. So this is something that it's really totally new for me, and I really enjoyed it. And now coming back to my third point, how I managed to get to the level I am today. And the answer is I just completely quit the fear of making mistakes. That means I would still learn from my mistakes, I would still ask how is the correct way to do something, but even if I don't know some expression, I would still continue and go around it. I would take a long journey instead of a shortcut to say something, but I would get there. Because of this determination, because of the power of the society around me, because of the motivation that I was getting from people and the enthusiasm that they were feeling from the fact that I was trying. So this really motivated me. It really encouraged me to not feel fear of mistakes. And this is a crucial part when you want to learn a language that is so different. It has completely different sentence structure, and the way of speaking Nepali is not really comparable to European languages. It has its own logic and it has its own flow. So once you get this flow, that's where the magic happens. That's where you start building like crazy words, expressions. Not only expressions, you kind of impersonate the way other people talk. You show the same way a surprise or a disappointment, how the other people do it. It kind of becomes natural to yourself, and that happens when you cut the fear of mistakes. I'm going to make a separate video about how Nepali is different to the European languages, some funny examples, some typical structures, some interesting features of the language. I would love to make a video like that, so if you're interested in that, just comment below. धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद नेपाल. धेरै धन्यवाद मेरो नेपाली परिवारलाई for the opportunity to learn this beautiful and exciting language. For me, this has really opened a lot of new doors. It has opened me up as a personality, and it has created a feeling of integration and a feeling of belonging to this culture. So thank you everyone for your continuous support and enthusiasm on this journey. Please comment below if you have yourself learned an exotic language. How was this experience for you? Did it change you? Did you learn something new about yourself? What was the reason to do it? If you like this video, press the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye!